Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Claire and I put out videos about luxury bags and accessories. So if that is your thing, please click on the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you'll know when I upload a new video. Now in today's video I'm going to do a review of one of my Mulberry bags, and I was very kindly asked by a subscriber, Elle, if I would do a review of this particular bag. She said she was thinking of getting it and she'd like to know a bit more about it. So I was more than happy to oblige. It's really lovely to get requests for specific videos. So I was very happy to pop on here and do a review of my Mulberry Tessie Hobo in the oak colour. Now it looks very smooched up and squashed here at the moment because it doesn't have anything in it. Now I bought this particular bag probably about 4 years ago. It came in one of the cream dust bags. It's one of the newer styles. They just, I think, discontinued the grey dust bags. And as I say, it does come kind of a bit smooshed up because it is a very soft grain leathered bag. Now it only has a top handle or shoulder strap like this, so all you can do is carry it top handle or on your shoulder. The strap is adjustable, and I have got it on one of the longer settings so that it gives me a bit of a drop on my shoulder. You obviously can shorten that. You're only looking at about that much to make it a bit shorter, so it just gives it a smaller drop on your shoulder, or obviously a smaller drop if you want to carry it top handle. Now the thing with this bag is you can fill it to the absolute brim, and you can see it is quite large, but what I like about it is to kind of fill it halfway, and then, like I just had the bag, you kind of fold over the top so it becomes a bit smooched up like that. The leather is very, very soft, which is why it is kind of all squashy and smooth. It is not a structured bag in any way whatsoever. Now, I bought this about, as I say, 3 or 4 years ago, and it's probably one of the last larger bags that I bought when my lifestyle was such that I did need to take a lot of stuff out with me. And then because of a combination of things, probably my son getting a bit older, so I don't have to take the kitchen sink out with me when I go out with him, going out less because of COVID, obviously, because there was then a couple of years of lockdown and not going out very much. And I think, like I mentioned in a previous video, kind of technology moving on so that you didn't need so many things in your bag. Everything's on your phone now, so you didn't need to take so much stuff. And I just kind of found that over the last few years I've definitely downsized, and so I found that I used this bag quite a bit when I first got it, but then I just didn't need a big bag anymore. When I would use this bag, if I was going out for a day and I wanted to take a lot of stuff with me, including things like snacks, water bottles, an umbrella and things like that, or I maybe even wanted to kind of roll up a cardigan and pop it in here as well, then that would be the perfect bag because it is just one of these larger bags. Otherwise, when I don't need a lot of stuff, then I'm quite happy to take out my small Lulu bags from Saint Laurent, or I'll take out my Gauche Soho Disco. So this bag has been relegated a little bit purely because my lifestyle has changed. Not because I don't like it. I really love it, and I really do like this, and I certainly go for this bag if I do need a larger bag. I used to be very, very into sort of hobo styles, smooshy hobos like this, but I like this because a lot of my other hobo bags are very much kind of half moon shapes or round oval shapes, and whereas this one is not quite that traditional hobo shape, it's a little bit different, it's squarer, and I just love the fact that this top kind of, as I say, I can't think of any other word for it, but smooshes down and smiles at you. I don't know, that's just me. Anyway, onto the bag itself. It's made of a very beautiful oak pebbled leather. It's extremely soft. This is not a structured bag in any way whatsoever. It is just a very squishy bag. It has a bottom on it but without any feet, and there's no back pockets or anything like that in the bag. The hardware is gold and the clasp is quite subtle. That's all you've got on the front, just to show you that it's Mulberry, the little tree. So it's one of those if you know you know bag. Obviously you get to see it like that very subtly if you wear the bag like that. Now to open it, you have to just slightly open the top there, and you see there's a little button. You press the button and it unclips, and then you can get inside the bag. Now the inside of the bag is a lovely kind of beige canvas lining. It has a zip pocket there on one side with the Mulberry little tag there, and then it has a smaller slip pocket without a zip on the other side, so just a small pocket there. Other than that, it is just a big cavernous hole, so it will take an awful lot of stuff. Now, because it's a light lining, you can throw a lot of stuff in there and it doesn't get lost too much. It is quite easy to see your stuff because it's light. However, I try to avoid that because I just don't want to be rooting around in there for my card holder or my keys or whatever. So I do use an organiser most of the time if I do use this bag, but I don't have a particular organiser designed for this bag. I just have a generic one that I got from Amazon, and I tend to use this one for some of my larger tote bags because it is just quite a good useful one that I can pop in and out of those sorts of bags. Now, it's got quite a few pockets. I've got some stuff in this at the minute. I've got some wipes in that pocket there. I've got my phone sticking out of that pocket. Inside you can see it's kind of got different pockets, and I have my Chanel OK, so hand cream. I have a card holder in there somewhere. There we go. So I have all my sort of essential bits and pieces in there. There's also like a couple of pockets at the side. I've got a pen sticking out of one of them. Even this is not full. I haven't filled this up quite to the brim yet. But what I would do is I'd take this and I'd just pop this inside this bag. Now, obviously, the organiser is quite a lot smaller than the bag. So once you've got the organiser in there, you still have got a lot of space. So you can see there's quite a lot of space there where I would put perhaps a water bottle or an umbrella. So it is quite cavernous, this bag. You really can get a lot in it. Now, right, so I've just moved the camera so I can show you the bag from a different angle. I've just moved onto my bed at the moment. There's my cat over there. She's not bothered about handbags though, so let's go back here. Right. So at the minute, this might sound weird, but I've just put some jumpers inside the bag just to show you kind of how it slouches, what it looks like when it's got a bit of weight in it. You'll notice that my bag is quite creased. Now, that's partly because it's such a slouchy bag, but also because of how I've stored it over the years. I haven't stored it stuffed. If I had, it might not be quite so creased and slouchy, but personally I actually don't mind it. I like the slouch and the creases. I feel it's kind of part of the charm of the bag. But if you're somebody who is driven mad by creases in the leather and you really don't like these kind of slouchy styles, you'd rather go for a structured bag, then this is obviously not the bag for you. But personally I don't mind the slouch and the creases. Now you can see that with the weight in the bag, it's kind of got that floppy top, and if I open that and take out the clothing that I put in there, just some jumpers, I've got this particular organiser that I mentioned, and that's quite a small one, but you can see that that fits inside the bag and leaves lots of room around the edges. I usually just put essentials in the organiser part and then put the bigger items around the sides. If I take that out, there's the bag, very cavernous as I mentioned before. Now, although that's the organiser I usually use, I did actually have a play around with some of my other organisers. And now this is my Saint Laurent organiser for my Rive Gauche tote, the smaller one, not my large one, but my smaller green one. Now that actually does fit in the bag. If I get it in there, you can see that does actually fit inside the bag. It does sit up higher in the bag, so if you close it, it's harder for you to get that kind of that fold over and that slouch because it's higher. But obviously if you're not bothered about that and you want to use the bag kind of upright like that and fill it up, then that organiser actually works. The other organiser I've got that works, I realised, is the one that I made for my Loewe basket bag. So if I just pop that in as well, you can see that goes in there. I'll link the video up above where I talk about this organiser and why I made it and show you how it fits in my basket bag. But it actually is not a bad fit for this bag either. So I made that organiser a short while ago. I haven't used this bag since I made it, so I didn't realise it fitted, but obviously now if I do use this bag in the future, then that's a thought for me to actually use that organiser. So that's my Loewe basket bag one that I made. Right, pop that out. Now the other thing I've got here is a tape measure, because what I was going to do is just measure the bag and give you an idea of how wide and deep it was. Now the width at the bottom of the bag is about 35 centimetres. It does get a little bit wider as it goes up, so it does actually go up to about 41 centimetres as you travel up the bag. So it's kind of got that slightly wider area at the sides. The depth of the bag is approximately 14 to 15 centimetres, and the height of the bag is about 32.5 centimetres. So it's quite a big bag. This organiser that I usually use with it is very small. It's only 23 centimetres, so you can see when it fits in the bag at the bottom, which is, as I say, about 34-35 centimetres, you've got quite a bit of room to play with. The Saint Laurent organiser, you can see that would fit in, as I said, that's about 32.5 centimetres, so that's why it fits in. And my Loewe basket bag organiser is obviously kind of a better shape, or a similar shape to the bag as well. So that's why they all work inside there. You can see that when I lay it flat, this crease is kind of more prominent. I think what I've done is probably in the past, I've probably stored it like that to create the crease on that side, and then I've also probably stored it that way as well and created a crease on the other side. But as I say, it doesn't bother me so much, but I know some people that would really annoy them. So, you know, you either avoid this bag or you store it differently to how I've stored it over the years. Regarding the organisers, I know there are a couple of companies that do Mulberry specific organisers, and they do ones for the Tessie. I've never bothered to buy a specific one for the Tessie bag, but I'll pop links to the companies down below, so if you're interested you can check out what they do in terms of Mulberry bag organisers. Anyway, so I just thought that would be useful for you to see the bag from a different angle, from a different viewpoint. So there we go, got it like that, and so you've got the kind of hobo style with it like that. Now in terms of wear and tear, it's very hard for me to say because I haven't used it that much. I did use it a little bit when I first bought it, but I haven't used it in recent years. So I can't say that I've totally and utterly worn this bag to death and it's holding up really well. The few times I have worn it, it's held up very well, and the only thing I can say is that I've had bags in this mulberry leather before which I have worn to death and they held up brilliantly. I've mentioned a couple of times that I had an Effie satchel that was in this colour leather, very similar to this leather. It was a pebbled leather. It was probably just a touch smoother, but it was very soft squidgy leather like this, and I wore that so much. And a couple of years ago I sold it to my friend and she is wearing it and it's still holding up, and it looked virtually brand new when I sold it to her, and yet I know that I had obviously worn it quite a lot. Mulberry leather is such good quality, it really is. I mean, I just, you know, I love feeling this. It's so soft, it's so nice. I know some of you might think, oh gosh, that leather's all, you know, crinkled and all, you know, kind of, but that's how it's supposed to be. This is that style of bag. This is not a structured bag. This leather is supposed to be slouchy. It's the whole point of this bag. Now I've got some weight in it. Again, you can see how it kind of sits and hangs like that. Obviously you don't have to do it up, but you know, just to clip it in and do it up, and then you can see it's like that. It's a bag that gives a very casual and very easy slouchy vibe. That's the nature of this bag. Now it has been discontinued. That's why I actually bought it, because it went into the Mulberry sale, and usually Mulberry items don't go in the sale unless they are being discontinued or a colour is being discontinued. I think the whole bag itself, the Tessie Hobo in all the colours, was at that time being discontinued. You can get them pre-loved, obviously. I'm really not sure about prices. I think the pre-love market for these varies a lot. It really does depend on the condition, but I think you can get this probably for a few £100, maybe even less than £300 maybe. You might be able to pick up a really good pre-loved one of these. If it was in perhaps excellent condition or never been used or something like that, then you might have to pay a little bit more, maybe up to about £400. This is obviously in the oak colour. It's a lovely colour. It's a neutral. It goes with so many things. I find it works really well all seasons. It works very well in summer. It works brilliantly in autumn because it's very much an autumn colour, but I think you can wear this in winter, spring as well. You know, I don't think that this bag is particularly seasonal. I think it's a classic from Mulberry. It's an all year round bag, and when you need that slightly larger bag, and larger bags are coming back, aren't they? Bigger bags are coming back, Hobo bags are coming back. So, you know, I might find myself wearing this a bit more often, you know, in the coming months, knowing that this is kind of back in style a little bit. But, you know, I'd still love it, even if it was completely out of style. You know, I do love it, and it is definitely the bag I gravitate towards when I want to take out a slightly larger bag and I need to take more out with me for the day. I have been shopping in London with this bag, using it all day long, a few times actually, because it was you know, the sort of shopping trip where I was going to be a while and I wanted to take a bottle of water and I wanted to take a few other bits with me, so you know, this bag was perfect. As I mentioned before, it has got no feet on the bottom. I have put this down on tables, floors, things like that, and there's no wear and tear on the bottom at all. It really isn't. There's no corner wear, you know, from the limited times I've used it. But again, I use my other Mulberry bags, similar sorts of leather, and they haven't got corner wear on them, so I do think it is a very good quality bag. As with all of my leather bags, I have conditioned this. What I've done with this one, I conditioned it with a leather gel, and then I sprayed it with a sort of a Carbon Pro or a Colonel gel, one of those, because I've got both, so I would have sprayed it with one of those just to waterproof it. So the leather gel keeps it sort of soft and supple, also helps to waterproof it, and then the spray waterproofs it as well. So I just hold it up and I just spray and kind of spin it round as I spray and just make sure I cover it. So I last did that probably about the time I got it. I don't think I've done it since. The leather smells amazing. You can't beat Mulberry leather. I know, you know, you Hermes lovers out there will probably say that Hermes leather can beat this, but I don't have any Hermes bags, and I don't plan to get any. So for me, Mulberry is probably the best leather that I've come across so far. It's definitely up there. So anyway, I hope that helps, and I hope that gives you a good idea of this bag. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it the thumbs up, and if you have any other questions about this bag, please ask me in the comments down below and I'll try my best to answer. So thanks everyone for watching, and I really look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye everyone.